Hey, it's Scotty. So it's been very windy and I wasn't able to film a video, but I've been talking to Carl and he was talking about his journey taming his piggies. This is Gus. I've got Gus here. He is uh, he's a foster fail. I got him at the um, local shelter because they really, really needed space, and I've tried to develop a relationship with that shelter. Um, and, you know, I thought if I can bond him to one of my single boys, then that'd be great. And so him and Popeye have a tolerable situation. Anyways, I was talking to Carl, and Carl was saying that my guinea pigs act like dogs, and his pigs are scared of him, and so I wanted to just run through a couple things. Some are uh, some of the things are is some of the things are advice, and some of the things really just have to do with kind of a reality check. So first off, the reason why I'm holding Gus is because he's one of my hardest piggies to catch. He gives me the side eye, and I don't know if he actually really likes me at all. So why am I holding him? Why am I torturing him? Well, and that's the thing that Carl was pointing out is he's read all sorts of things like, oh, you shouldn't pick up your piggies if they're in their house. And I do agree with him that if you have to pick them up to give them medicine, you shouldn't have to wait until they come out of their house. You should just be able to pick them up and grab them. And so he's having some issues taming them, and he just sees my piggies as kind of like, wow, they're so magical. But really, so I've got Gus in this cuddle sack, but come on, and now he wants to stay in it. So we can see how squirmy Gus is. I still want to support him properly, and that's something that's really going to help. But if I didn't, you'd find that he was very, very squirmy. So I'm going to put his feet on this cuddle sack here, just so he feels a little bit more secure. But you would notice that he is very squirmy. He'd rather be back in his house, and that's most piggies. So I just want to run through. I made a little list right here of just some things, just some thoughts. Number one is trust takes time. Just having piggies for a couple months, any relationship's going to take time to build that trust. Whether it's people, whether it's guinea pigs, whether it's any animals, especially animals that come from a shelter that they've been through things that either you don't know about, or that they were just definitely, traumatic or hardships. So Gus is that case. He did come from the shelter, but very quickly he learned that there's a lot of piggies here, and we're all treated well. All the piggies are treated well, and that we are living in a safe place together. So he's figured that out, and now he bullies me just like all the others. That leads me to my next point, which is there are a ton of pigs here. So if you have two pigs, they derive a sense of security from each other, and the more pigs that you have living in a room, the more they're going to feel secure, especially when they all have their own space, or if it's a big large herd of girls, sometimes there can be drama there. But here all of my boys live in an area that they control, they command. With the exception of Popeye, you can see him right up here because Gus is kind of a jerk and chases him around. But they do have an understanding. There has not been any blood drawn, so that is fine. But having a lot of pigs that can see each other, that are stable, that's going to go a long way to having them feel safe and comfortable. Not saying that you have to have multiple pigs. You could have two pigs, but having them up on a table where they don't feel threatened by you, they feel on your level, and they can see their surroundings. That's really my recommendation for the best kind of setup. So it takes a while. It takes time for you to develop that trust, and it takes more than a couple weeks or a couple months. In fact, Nate over there, we can't see him, he's just off camera. There he is drinking. He still, half the time he doesn't want me to pick him up. Half the time most of my pigs don't want me to pick them up. And he still only just now is beginning to trust me after a couple years. And that's just the way it is. These are prey animals. So every little victory, you've got to really consider it as like a major win. So it does take a while. Your piggies are still gonna squirm, and I always say in my taming videos, guinea pigs don't like to be picked up. They don't mind being held once they are picked up. See, he's fine. He'd rather go back, and he's gonna start squirming. So there is a time limit usually for holding piggies, and it depends on, the time limit is either, come here. The time limit is either when the treats run out, or after about 15 minutes. They usually want to pee. And I have found so many of my piggies, you can leave this in the comments, so many of my pigs, they do start to get uncomfortable. They start to get restless, and it's like they're telling me they gotta pee, they don't want to pee on me, or they don't want to pee in the cuddle sack. And then either I put them back and they pee immediately, or I ignore them and then they pee. So you can listen for that, but that's just the way it is. But I do love Gus. He's very sweet, you know, and these are not really my pets per se. These are rescues. They needed a good home, and I have the space to be able to provide that for them. I don't really think of them as my pets. They're just like these crazy little dudes that I live with. And it's a little different. And I've never really, I didn't pick any of these guys out. I did sort of fall for some, and some became foster fails where others ended up at the rescue because I got attached to some. But I never went out and said, oh, I want this one, I want this one. They just sort of came upon me. Even Nate was the one boy out of a group of girl babies, and I just thought that I could pair him up with one of my single boys. So you're gonna find that you have a relationship that's different with each of these pigs, and that's okay as long as they are safe and secure and fed. That's what is the most important thing. So I just want to say also that, you know, my videos might be a false impression, giving you guys a false impression of how easy it is to have pigs, how docile they can be. You know, he can be really hard to catch, but when I have treats, he runs up. You know, they all gang up on me, they're all screaming for treats, they're all bullying me, but that doesn't necessarily equal that they all love me. You know, I'm not saying they do or they don't love me. These are, you know, as much as we personify them, they are different, small animals, and I'm not saying that they're not capable of love, or they are, but they love in a guinea pig way. They have guinea pig personality, guinea pig brains, guinea pig social behaviors, and it's better to appreciate them for who they are and how they are than to try to force them to be a certain way. But with practice, with patience and time, and doing certain techniques, you can build their trust. So I would recommend checking out my taming guide on my website. The links are always in the description, so check that out. Looking down here, I think I've covered all of these. So let me know if you have any more questions in the comments, and maybe we can all share our experiences and answer them. So I really, really appreciate it. I will also put my taming guide right here in the corner. So that's going to teach you basically everything that I've learned over time about taming. But it really does take time and take some patience to build that trust and to get them to love you. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.